This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena, joined by Skittles. Oh, joined with Skittles. Oh, my buddy Kitty. Oh, yes, yes, Kitty, Kitty, Kitty. Yes, here we are on January the 14th, a month away from Valentine's Day, and I'm celebrating early with my buddy Kitty Cat. Yes, cuddle with Kitty. Kitty says, "You're embarrassing me. You're doing this for hits, likes, and views. I don't want to be viewed as cuddly." I'm like, "You are cuddly, Kitty. You're a cuddly kitty cat." Skittles like, "Oh my goodness, what is that on that screen?" Kitty,
Skittles
that's
is
my guest.
disappearing.
That's my guest, Kitty. That's my guest. That is my guest, seven-time guest, Scotty McCoy. How do you do, Scotty?
Doing good. Got my book here and got my autographs.
Oh, look at that.
Yep. What do I got here? I got James Jude Courtney, the Michael Myers from the 2018 Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. Tom Morga from Part 4 in the gas station scene. I have Anthony Michael Hall from Halloween Kills. Charles Cyphers from the original and from Part 2 and Halloween Kills. We have Tom Jones Jr. from Halloween Kills. We have Aaron Anderson from Halloween Kills, and he was doing stunts and ends. And we have Nancy Loomis from the original and Halloween 2. So got some pretty good names in here.
There you go.
Yeah.
Skittles says, "You don't have his name. You don't have his."
Yeah.
Skittles says he strikes fear into all because he's related to the King of Beast.
Skittles
Skittles
is
says,
so
"Oh,
adorable. Yeah, she's done.
he
He's done. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I know. He's embarrassed. He's my buddy." He's like, "Japers, can't believe you did that." Yeah. Oh, well, Scotty, can't believe it's been seven times, huh?
I know. 7 times crazy. I just saw, was it yesterday? You posted that I was on for the first time 6 years ago. I'm like, damn, time flies.
There you go. Yep. Yep. And we always seem to have something to talk about. So,
Every
yeah,
single
that's always
time.
fun. We kept
And it
in
somehow
touch.
always comes to my back to my underwear with Brett Harris.
I had Brett Harris on the ninth.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I had his
Great guy.
t-shirt on, and yeah, your name came up, your underwear came up, and
Of
stale
course.
cereal came up.
Yep, awesome. Yeah, and he's in the new movie. We're in post-production still. He's in 72, one of the leads. So he plays somebody totally different than Relic in that one. Such a good guy in this one.
There you go. Oh,
They're
I
very
always have a fun time talking to Brett. He was on for his fourth time, so I mean, I've had him I've had him on a number of times as well, So
yeah.
oh, Brett's great.
Yeah,
He
I'm glad I
always always
introduced you to him. I'm glad you guys, hit it off and 4 years later, he's still coming on the show. So that's really good.
Oh yeah, I love having him on. He's one of those. Yeah, I think Skittles might have crashed that interview as well. Yes. Skittles is licking his wounds on here. He says his dignity has been shattered coming on here. Yes. Skittles says, "You exploited me." He says, "Don't tickle me like that." He says, "I'm bashful." He ran away.
He's gone. He's like, you're not picking me up again.
Yeah, but yeah, seven times. I still got the Samhain Blu-ray here. It's in my little stack, but nonetheless, yeah, seven
Yeah.
times. I can't believe it. Yeah, I just did an overnight at the hospital last night. I was supposed to work. I'm supposed to be at work now, but I got called in last night because somebody got. This has happened many times. People get
Right.
scheduled for a double when they they'll be scheduled for like 11 p.m. on one day, and then the following day it says 12 midnight.
Wow.
And it's like, yeah, they they kind of mesh.
Yeah.
You can't
Kyle
do that.
Kyle works Thursday and Fridays. He just started his job. This is his first week in the psychology field, and he started Thursday and Fridays. He works 3:30, I think, until no 3 to 11:30, and he's at work now from he was at work from 7 to 3 today. So 7 to 3:30 today. So I got to leave here at 3 o'clock to go pick him up, and he loves the night shift. I don't know how the day shifts are going. This is his first time doing day shift since he started, but he likes the night shift.
I love doing overnights at the hospital,
Yeah.
and it was crazy last night. I um I was all set last night because of course this is Saturday the 14th.
Yeah.
So last night was Friday the 13th.
Hmm.
And I was all set to watch Friday the 13th, the final chapter. And the Paramount logo was going on that my phone rings. And the supervisor asking if I could come in. And I'm all for the overnights. I like it.
Yeah.
And she said, if I do the overnight, take my 8 to 4 off today. And I'm like, you know what? I'm down.
Yeah.
Only
Definitely.
problem is I had taken some melatonin gummies to go to sleep. I made it through the night though.
Nice.
I made it through the night. So
That's good. That's good. Yeah. I can't. I could never work an overnight shift because like I'm like the type of person that likes to keep going and going and going during the day. And if you work overnight, a lot of the time you're sleeping during the day.
I like that.
And I don't I personally don't like to sleep, and I mean obviously everybody has to sleep, but I don't like to sleep. So if I have a choice to sleep, it's definitely at night because during the day I have to keep myself going and going and going. I'm a
Oh,
worker.
I sleep a lot more now. You wait till you hit my age, you'll want to sleep more. But
Yeah.
um but I only live 4 minutes drive from the hospital, so it's not like it's a big drive.
Right.
So I went there and despite the gummies, I went through the night and I did my work and
Hmm.
um I don't know how many rooms I did with Patrick, my coworker, but I know individually I did 10 rooms by myself. So
Yeah.
so and I don't know
Yeah.
how many he did by himself, so it was a lot,
Yeah.
but I joked and I said my supervisor saved that carload of young adults from being hacked.
Oh.
But it also meant we didn't get Crispin Glover dance.
Yeah.
But I said, yeah, but you know what? I still went into a catastrophe because what did I have to do? I guess some guy they had some security had some issue with some guy in the quiet room. I got
Hmm.
asked to go out there and clean up the mess. There was like Lucky Charms or something all over the floor out there,
Oh
and
my
I'm like,
God.
like seriously? Like seriously? You
The
know,
final chapter though, that's a good movie. That's one of my favorites in the franchise, and a lot of the deaths in that one are very creative. Like that's one of the Friday the 13th that has a lot of creative deaths, a lot of different weapons used, a lot of different death scenes. I really enjoy that one. I think the creativity is great. It's really a good film, and the way they killed Jason was amazing too.
I like Ted White. I'm so glad I had him on a couple times.
I had him on once, and I'm glad I got him before he passed away.
Yeah. Now it's unfortunate that you know, God bless him. He tried to hook me up with Judy Aronson, and
Mhm.
that went to shit.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, but nonetheless, as
yeah.
far as I'm concerned, that's on her, not me.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but nonetheless, yeah, I kind of stepped away from the independent horror thing after the whole
Mhm.
13 fanboy debacle. So
Yeah.
yeah, concentrating a lot more on work.
Yeah,
But
nothing wrong with that. Make the money.
yeah. Well, you know what? It's funny because with all the shit they've been saying about me,
Hmm.
people like Tom Matthews, Adam Marcus, Deborah Sullivan, um, even Tracy Savage.
I'm
They
gonna say
don't buy
Tracy
any of
Savage.
it.
Yeah.
I had Tracy Savage on and Boxing Day again, and it was so
Mm.
nice that she still likes talking to me.
Yeah, Tracy's such a nice lady. I had her on once, thanks to Mike Guttridge for that connection. And
Oh
I had
yeah.
her on once, and very sweet, very humble, very professional. Like, she's like very, very cool. Like, I really enjoyed having her on. We had some really good conversations. We talked about the OJ Simpson trial that she covered as well. And, very nice lady. And she really knows, she was very, I don't know, just very genuine, very down to earth, very sweet.
I was gonna get into this, but what do you think the take is on the Judy Aronson thing with me?
I honestly, I know you were done dirty. I agree. I don't think you're a stalker. I mean, you have my number,
Yep.
and you could stalk me if you wanted to. I mean, if you're a stalker, you don't
Well, it's
just stalk
funny.
celebrities,
When I
stalk
interviewed
anybody.
Tracy Savage, I brought up the fact because she's the one I had the
Yeah,
crush on, and
right,
13 fanboy, and I had her number, and Tracy's never had a problem with me, and
right,
she even mentioned that. No, I've never
absolutely.
called her. I text her about the interview, reaching out the
Mhm.
interview,
Yeah.
but I don't know why channels, and I don't know how much of that's on Debbie Sue Voorhees. I'm
I
gonna
one thing
try
I
not.
don't understand is why, like, when you called her number, if she didn't want you to call her because she doesn't know who you are and you're looking for an interview, then just say, "Yeah, this is her. I'm sorry, I'm not interested in doing an interview," and just let it at that. It's more respectful, more respectable.
Hmm.
It might be like, oh, that's a bummer, but it's like that we wouldn't be where we are now.
Yeah, yeah,
It wouldn't have gotten this bad. It wouldn't have gotten blown out this much out of proportion. It's like, I honestly think that Judy Arnson, should have just when you called the first time, if she didn't want to talk or whatever, maybe make that excuse if that's what she wanted to do. But then you try it again because you want to make sure you dialed it correctly and it's a different excuse. Maybe be like, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just not interested in doing an interview. I'm not comfortable, somebody having my phone. I mean, can you please like not have it or whatever?
but
And
again,
just
let's
kind of let it
state
there.
too that all came from Ted White, and that's right in the
Exactly.
interview that
Yeah.
gets brushed under the rug all the time
Yeah.
by these people.
Yeah.
Not so brushed in. I mean, Judy's never
And
said
here's
anything
another
about it.
good point. If you were looking to get like to be a stalker or to do her any harm, you wouldn't have stopped Ted White from giving you the number when you were in the middle of recording.
Yeah,
You would have let it be on the air so anybody can get the number, call or text her.
yeah.
And you didn't do that. You were professional about it. You told them, don't put it on the air, give it to me afterwards.
Hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
God bless his soul.
So I'm happy that he was great. I'm sad that she didn't turn out to be. I'm pretty sure she's great with him.
Hmm.
I just wish that she turned out to be as wonderful as he said she was,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And I'm not sure how
I
many
heard
other
the same
part.
thing about her interactions with fans. I've heard things from fans that met her at conventions that, some people said she was really nice to them, but then there's other people that said, no, she wasn't that nice to me. You could tell that she was just there to make a quick buck.
I don't know. I haven't met her,
Yeah.
and I don't know what that encounter would be like,
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I'm still bitter about it
Yeah.
with her and Debbie Sue, and
Hmm.
but I don't get involved with these projects anymore, and
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Right.
I was never doing this to be famous or anything like that.
Right. And I think
I
one of the last projects you did like actually support was Mayan. And that's because we are close friends. Like I never done you wrong. We've been friends for what, 7 years now. Obviously, this is our our seventh interview, and you supported us just to help us out. But it's like you're not going to go out of your way to support any of the other projects now just because. And in the industry in general, the indie industry in general, a lot of it's just drama after drama after drama, and it's like you don't know who's legit anymore. You don't know if the projects are going to get made because it's on Indiegogo. They're making a project, you donate, and then they get the money, and then they don't make the project, even if they say that they are, and then something fell through. Like, and you can do that and legally get away with it, and profit all that money. Like there's so many loopholes and bad things. Like there are good indie filmmakers out there, but there's also the bad apples of the bunch. And it's like, if that's the case, then okay, well, it's you don't know who you can trust anymore because of everything going on dramatically within the industry of the indie film scene. It's crazy. It really is.
Oh
I have
yeah.
my friends that are in the industry and I support them, but I have even stopped donating just because I'm sick of being burned and I'm sick of, this, that, and the other happening, not knowing if I'm going to get my money's worth. Now I'll donate, say for example, I didn't donate to them because I think it's out. It was closed when I found out about it, but the movie Stream with Michael Levy's doing, like that would be a movie I
Yeah,
would
I
donate
did.
to
Yeah.
because that it's going to be a legit movie
Yep.
that's going to happen because it's from legitimate filmmakers. It's not from a random person that just decided to make a movie one day.
Yeah.
So yeah. Otherwise, like I wouldn't do. I'm not going to donate to just anybody's films. Like I have to know you, I have to believe in you, and then I'll donate. And I mean, if you have a reputable reputation and I know of you or whatever, I'll help you out. If you're a friend of mine, I'll help you out. But I'm not gonna just go out of my way for every project anymore because I have bills I gotta pay and I'm saving up for a new car.
Yeah.
I would like a new car this year.
Well, if Damien Leone does Terrifier 3 on Indiegogo, I might consider that
Oh, I'm gonna donate to that for sure.
because it's funny, with 13 Fanboy. Um, had that came out after,
Mhm.
Debbie Sue could definitely have learned a few things from Damien Leone because
Yeah.
Terrifier 2 did what 13 Fanboy did not do.
The first Terrifier, I liked it. Um, but it definitely didn't have a plot. It was
Oh,
about
I
the gore.
enjoyed
That's
it.
what it's
Yeah.
about. And the same thing with Terrifier 2. It's all about the gore. Their practical effects are beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Terrifier 2 made all this money, like record breaking for an indie film in theaters, in 1 month, and does what a lot of films, even big budget films, fail to do. And Terrifier 2 deserves every inch of success that it got because it shows what hard work, passion, dedication, and time and a little bit of money can do. And they aren't a big budget movie. They had a small budget, just like all of our other indie films that we make. They had a similar related budget, maybe a little more, but they were able to create a masterpiece out of it. They were
Yep.
conservative with their money and they made a masterpiece.
Yep. Now, with that said, I gotta say, I liked 13 Fanboy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I Debbie Sue's got promise as a filmmaker, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wish the experience was a little better for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because I remember you promoting it in interviews that you had with me, interviews you
Yeah.
had with other people, conventions. Like
Yeah.
you promoted the shit out of the movie. And yeah, and I understand how you feel about that. I thought it was a great movie too. There was some things that I think could have been a little better and that could have been explained more, which I spoke to certain people in the movie, including Debbie Sue herself, about those issues, and that she explained them. Like either lighting wasn't good on the scene and we didn't want to put in the scene, or lighting wasn't as good as we thought it was when we looked over it again. So you wanted to kind of omit that from the movie, which I respect because I rather keep something out and kind of be like, well, that's a little confusing compared to putting something in where it doesn't look as good as it could have been.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, one thing I do want to express my appreciation to you about is I'm now on Spotify.
Yeah.
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 Um, right
Congratulations.
now I got set up so that one interview goes up a day since New Year's.
So you're doing it a day instead of two a day?
Yeah, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
I never know when I come up with a dry spell.
Hmm.
This means, I've got stuff for at least a couple years to go up
Yeah.
on, and I still got my YouTube channel, knock on wood.
Yeah. And you have
But
all the 2020s that are still sitting in queue.
you know what? Yeah, but I can also put them up on
There you go.
Spotify. Yeah,
There you
because I
go.
got the MP3s.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm starting with way back on my first one with Tommy Wiseau and
Hmm.
working my way up to now.
Yeah.
And I actually calculated it for 165 or 100 365 days in a year. I'll be in my 2020s by the end of the year.
Nice.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
So I thought rather than because another thing too, I think having two go up a day is a little bit overwhelming,
I agree.
you know,
And
and not some.
I'm kind of figuring that out with my interviews because Slasher Scotty on Facebook got monetized and people can give me stars for my videos on there. And because they can give me stars, what you do is they like, for example, say you want to give me a star for an interview I did, you would
Mhm.
pay 99 cents for like one star, and then I would get money for that star based on you giving me that, and that would help the channel grow. And so I've been starting to put up all of my interviews in alphabetical order, not in the order that I've done them, but just in alphabetical order because it's easier that way. And I haven't gotten any stars yet, but it's actually growing my YouTube channel. I mean, my Facebook page more than I expected. I'm getting so many more people that are liking the page now. I understand the overwhelming part that you're saying about two a day because I'm posting, wait for this, five a day. I'm spreading them out over the couple hours. So the first one goes up. I have, I think, up to Sunday already scheduled, but I do one at 9 a.m., one at noon, one at 2 p.m., one at 5 p.m., and one at 8 p.m.
Well, I have mine go up every day at midnight.
Yeah.
So I've
Yeah.
got, as of right now, 14 mine go up, and I got another six from 2015, and then I'm into the 2016s.
Yeah.
So it's nice, and it's actually scheduling nicely. I'm
Good.
not getting a lot of action on there right now, but
Yeah. You just
I'm
started. You'll grow.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I like it, and I may need another refresher with you coming up at some point on the on I know I have one interview that went over the 2 hour mark on there, and I
Mhm.
may need a refresher on
Okay,
on
like how to
that.
use Audacity to
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
can help you with that. I helped you with that before and it worked beautifully. So
yeah, it
confident
did
it'll work
because I
beautifully.
know I've got some like Paul M. Salmon went 5 hours and 20 minutes. Like
Yeah.
he's a
Whew.
talker,
Yeah,
but nonetheless, yeah, I did 170 last year, and
nice.
I'm quite happy about that. And
That's great.
I had a number of great guests come on,
Yeah.
and so you're my eighth so far this year.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
we always do it in January, and I always have you on my show in December. And I'm so glad today worked out because if we couldn't do it today, if you had work or something, I don't know when I'd be able to do it because I start grad school on Tuesday. And I don't know what my schedule is going to be like once I start getting homework assignments, plus working my full-time job and two part-time jobs, one being for the college. So it's going to be so busy. But I mean, we always do it in January, so I would have figured a time to do it would have to be a weekend, but I would have figured a way to make it happen in January so we could do it every year in January. But it wouldn't be I mean I'm glad we were able to get it done today because it would have been hard. It would have been hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to a little better be able to schedule around work and making things happen as
Mhm.
well. So, and I like my job at the hospital.
Right.
You know, I love working the overnights. I did one last night. Wasn't planned, but I got called for it. But I like the people I work with there, and it's good work. The ER, I gotta say, if you're working in a hospital, and I don't know if this is everybody's opinion, just I'm just going by my own experience.
Mhm.
The ER is the most challenging.
I can believe
Um,
that. I can believe
yeah,
that.
because you've got so much going on,
Yeah,
but I don't dislike it.
that's
I
good.
don't like doing terminal rooms, mind you, because you gotta get robed up, masked up,
Mm.
all this stuff. You gotta do the walls and
Yeah,
but nonetheless,
yeah,
it's good work and overnight's a lot quieter. Um,
yeah.
ER those like I said, they got the over the last few days I saw the cops and security down there quite a few times with that they got this room they have to put aggressive people in and I tell you, I see a lot of weird shit.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm a little nervous to start grad school because it's like my first time being in college, probably in 6 years since I got my bachelor's, and
Hmm.
maybe let me see, maybe almost 9 years since I got my associates. So, because I got my associates from a community college, and then I took like a year off or so, and then I transferred to get my bachelor's, and then I end up getting full time job after full time job in my field, and 10 years of professional experience in your field, and then it's like, okay, well now I'm what the hell, I'm gonna go get my master's. Well, I don't have enough on my plate, so let me get my master's on top of working 3 jobs.
Yeah. And I had Brett Harris on, of course, recently too,
Of
and
course.
he and his family did the Doubtfire Challenge. Well, he and his wife ended up, but
Yeah. Oh, didn't he do it like twice now, I think, right?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Brett's a great guy. I know he did it once when I got like the group from Sound to do it because I did it twice. I did it once individually. My dad pied me in the face, and then the second time Kyle pied me in the face, and yeah, and then the second time around I tried to get some people from Sound to do it. I know I did it, Tyler did it, Brett did it, Amanda, Shane. We got a couple of people from the group to do it.
Yeah. So and it's funny because when I was at Frightmare in the Falls, Laura Marie Taylor, she
Mhm.
recognized me right off, because
He's amazing.
I sent it to the cameo to her to do the Doubtfire Face challenge, and she took a pie in the face. And
Nice.
here's the thing about that, and this is what really messes me up with Debbie Sue Voorhees and Judy Aronson. I got no issue with people turning me down on it.
Mhm.
I don't, but just people, the 13 fanboy situation just turned out such shit.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, it says a lot about the people that actually did it.
Yeah, especially
You
those
know?
that did it twice, like myself and Brett. I'm not
Yeah.
putting anybody else down for only doing it once, but the fact that you do it once, that's amazing. But then
Hmm.
you have people that even go above and beyond and do it more than once just to show not only that they believe in this, but that, they want this message to be reached.
I never expect people to do it twice, but it'd be great to have people do it once. I did it a couple times as
Mhm.
well, once with
Yeah.
Lisa in Toronto.
Yeah.
But uh, like I said, it says a lot about, and like I said, I talked to Laura Marie Taylor about it when
Yeah.
I was in Toronto, and
I'm so glad I set you up with her because she is such a spunky, amazing person. Like
oh,
I
she is.
randomly just reached out to her on Instagram and was like, just sent her a private message, not expecting her to see it or anything. And I did actually leave a comment on her most recent picture, like, "Hey, Lauren, I sent you a message. I want to do an interview with you. If you can look at it, and if you're interested, please let me know, and we'll set something up." And she immediately responded when she saw it. Like probably 10 minutes at most passed, and she messaged back. She's like, "Oh my god, I would love to do an interview and talk about Friday the 13th Part 2." And I'm like, "Great, that'll be great. Let's do it." And we picked the date and the time, and we made it happen. And then I knew you wanted to have her on. I know you're a big fan of Part 2 as well. You like Part 2, and I know that I figured why not give Laura Marie Taylor to do it. I gave you her information. I think you messaged her on Instagram or maybe Facebook.
Yep, it was Instagram. Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about her working with John Belushi and Neighbors.
Mhm.
That was a big thing. And of course her husband was in Girls' Night Out with her.
Nice.
So I haven't had him on yet.
Mhm.
Um, but nonetheless, I like it when, people actually do it. But I
Yeah,
hate being screwed over on it. And I've had a few people do that too.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
But nonetheless, it's but yeah, I had Brett Harris on and talking
Mhm.
about his stunts, but we always go back to the Scotty boxers and the stale cereal from
That is probably
Salem.
the funniest thing I've seen on that set was probably he knew they were stale. He didn't know they were that stale. But I mean, what do you expect when the cereal was left over for an entire year? From the when we were gonna when because we were supposed to film it as a web series. That's when I bought it. Because that death scene originally in that movie was planned from the beginning, like from a web series. It wasn't something that we added for the movie. Like it was always planned. Drowning in a bowl of cereal, and yeah, like he knew it was gonna be stale, but when he took that bite, he didn't know it was gonna be that bad. Like it was freaking rancid. Like it was bad. He could have choked. He like when you hear him like eating it, and he goes like that's really him like trying to get this shit down because it's not because it's freaking it's stale and it's dry, and he's trying to get this down so he can say his line. And it was so authentic, and I'm trying so hard not to laugh so we don't have to do another retake because it's hard to do a retake. That was like a one take thing because we can't re-kill her because she's already in the milk. So she's already all wet and got it all over her hair and everything like that. We already have Sammy kind of glued on her forehead. So it was like we couldn't refilm that scene. And with him doing it would have been hard to redo that because it was an authentic first take that we kept. Like you can't
Yeah.
reenact that authenticity because he knows what to expect at that point.
Oh yeah. I like him, and he's always doing something different. I
Mhm.
My name was drawn, and he sent me a T-shirt. The cycle challenge there, kids cancer cycle challenge.
Yep.
Yeah, so I wore that during the interview, and
Yeah, I donated. I didn't win. You won, and I really don't care if I won or not. I mean, it's for a great cause that Brett is puts all this work
well, you
into.
could still donate a pair of Scotty boxers to
There
him.
you go. How about that? So, Brett, leave us a comment and let me know for the next time you do it. If you want, if I can send you $20 and a pair of dirty Scotty boxers.
And some stale cereal.
And some stale cereal with a note. You're not ready. No one's ready for this.
Oh man, we love Brett Harris.
Absolutely. Great guy.
What
And
a great guy. And I
yeah,
love
I
his
messaged him and like we talk a bunch, and he always said to me, he's like, if you need me for any project, I don't care what you need, if whether it's for just a stunt coordinator or for an on-screen role, let me know. I got your back. I'm always there for you. I love helping you guys out, and he's so great to work with, and he always tells the stories. It's always the same stories, from set with Samhain, and now we're going to be adding 72 into it, and of course Friday the 13th and Before Dusk that we did. He's going to be throwing all these he says all the same stories to everybody, but it's same to us, but it's new to that, like to the people he tells because they're new on the set, and
oh
every
I
single
like
time
him,
it's
yeah.
the same reaction, laughter, and like just everything he says is like, so like they find it funny because it's funny stories and he tells it in such a comedic way.
Hmm. Oh, he's great. He is great. Yeah, continue to work with him. I
Yeah.
love having him on. I'll have him on again next year, just like yourself. It just
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just great to
Yeah.
it's always great connecting with him, and he's very supportive. And like I said, he and his family did the Doubtfire challenge as well. I was
Yeah.
happy to make a donation. Like, I don't know what part of that Debbie Sue and Judy Aronson don't get. I've never screwed anybody over on
Right.
giving back, you know.
And
But
Brett became like family to us, and
mhm.
not only has he been in projects, and not only has his family and his kids and his wife and that been in projects, but they've all actually been in scenes together. Which Brett said, going to work and doing a movie is amazing, but doing it with your family is priceless.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and I'm so glad that we can make that happen. Like, we were short for the Samhain jogger scene. We had a totally different death scene planned where there was nudity and butchering the asshole of the jogger and everything. But the jogger had a medical issue or something came up or whatever at the time, so we had to switch it. So I asked Brett, "Hey, is your son interested in doing it?" He's like, "He is, but he's only 13. He can't do that scene." I'm like, "Well, I know we're gonna change the death scene, but is he interested in being in a movie?" And he's like, "Absolutely." And Scotty, you made my day, because now I'm getting to be in the scene with my son and I get to kill him.
You know what? I think the next time you have Brett Harrison in a movie, maybe you should have like, burnt toast or, you know, burnt something.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I know I want to have Brett back on Slasher Scotty, but Carl's keeping me hostage with the 72 cast for right now, because he wants me to have them on when we get closer to, a premiere, and then a closer to a release date, and kind of switch it up, half for the premiere, half for the release date. So sorry, Brett. I know you're going to be watching this, but I'll have you back on. I promise. I'm just being held against my will to not have you on yet.
Brett, I like you more than Scotty. That's why I already had you on this year. See?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I'm not
I'm
sending you a pair of boxers. Just
I have 3 interviews now scheduled for tomorrow. I have 3 interviews scheduled for Monday, and those are the last I'm scheduling. So whoever can't make my interviews, they're gonna have to wait till I figure out what my schedule is with grad school and everything going on. And then once I figure that out, I should be starting to book for maybe starting mid-February. So I'll have them back. I'll send them, whoever I had to postpone for this month, or whoever I had to postpone on with my laptop crashing. I'm on my new one now. I'll be
well,
reaching
you
out to
went through
them.
that
So
too, huh?
yeah, I did. I'll
Happened
be
to me in Toronto.
yeah, I'll be having them back on. It won't be till February. I'll be reaching out to them. So hopefully the 3 for tomorrow and the 3 for Monday, we'll be able to do the interviews. And if not, we'll just have to reschedule something for February, because I can't do anything after Monday until I see how everything looks school wise, work wise, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, no, a lot of that it's fun. I did 170 last year. It was my record. How many did you do?
Give me a sec. I can actually check. Because I have a spreadsheet in Google Sheets that keeps track of everybody I've done and where and what they've been in, and all that. Because at the end of the year, I end up posting everybody's like all their pictures and everything that I have saved,
Hmm.
and all that. But I know I didn't beat my 2021. So in 2021, I had 139.
I had for 2021, I had 144.
Nice. And then in
Yeah.
2022, I had 123.
I
So
had last year was 170.
nice.
I'm surprised I had that. And I really wanted to make the 170. I figured because I don't know if I'm going to make that this year,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So I had Lisa Hoyle and Greg Anthony come on
Nice.
together and on New Year's Eve, and
Nice. A
we
lot of people
did.
don't realize how hard it is to do these interviews. Like, it's not hard conducting them, but it's hard if you want to beat your goal. It's hard because they are time consuming.
Hmm.
They take a lot of your time, whether it be editing and uploading, or, just talking to the guests. Because, in your case, your interviews can be a couple hours long. And, that if your interviews were, say, a half an hour, then you would probably do 5 interviews a day. Whereas if you have like a guest on for 3 hours or a guest on for 8 hours,
I
I'm not
doubt
able
I'd have
to.
5 on a day. The most I've had on a day is 3.
Nice.
That's,
I've had 3, and I had my first time I had 3 was last February in one day, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that again. Well, fast forward almost exactly a year later, I'm having 3 on 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
It's exhausting because you have back-to-back interviews and sometimes you burn out. But it's like I made a commitment and obligation. Now I wouldn't have this many interviews in one day, but I had to reschedule like 5 days worth of people because I usually do one a day, sometimes two. But I had to reschedule 5 days of people in the matter of like 2 days because I have that, I have because of my laptop crashing, and that was my fault. So if it was my fault that I had to reschedule, and I don't want them to wait a month because of this, so I made a reason to get them to fit them in.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's funny with your background behind you. You got like a pumpkin thing sticking out of your head.
I know. Every time I see that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I literally have a stump. Every time I see that now, like I'm like literally the bad location of that. Like, ooh, it's like, whoa.
Oh,
But
everybody was telling me my apartment's messy. Yeah, but it's a Fendick though. But
right.
it's like,
My
so
whole
now it
my,
looks
my
like
whole
I'm sitting
apartment's
in the
messy
middle of a
too.
grassland. I'm like, yeah, this is real.
Right. That's what I said. My whole apartment's messy too. But if like I'm gonna take a quote from Everybody Loves Raymond. I don't know if you ever saw that show, but Deborah, the wife, wanted to clean the house for the guests that are coming over. And she wanted Ray, her husband, to help. And he's like, I'm not gonna help clean this house. She's like, why? She goes, it's a mess. He goes, it's always a mess. I'm not going to make this a fake house. Which is true. Like my apartment's messy now. I don't want my apartment to be to be at the point where I'm hopscotching just to cross the room. But I don't. I mean, if I have clothes here and clothes there that need to be washed and not put away or whatever, it's like I'll get to it when I get to it. But I'm not in no rush. I work from home for all three of my jobs. I go to school online. I barely leave my house. So it's like I don't need I do my podcast from home. I don't need to, I don't need to really go anywhere. Like I'm wearing my Slasher Scotty shirt and my pajama bottoms.
There you go.
That's all. I mean, I'm comfortable. My house is a mess. I'm not gonna clean my house up and only for it to get trashed again.
There you go.
Well, I'm gay. We have there's two guys living here, me and my boyfriend. Like we literally have two guys living here. That's literally a pigsty waiting to happen.
Well, it's just me and Skittles living here, and it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm straight. Doesn't make a
Yeah.
difference. Me and my
It
cat,
doesn't.
and
It doesn't. You're a guy. Like guys aren't meant to really be clean per se. Like
well,
we
Skittles
all
is a male cat too, so
there you
he's
go. So
definitely not cleanly.
there you go. So we're men. We're messy. Like that's how men are, and that's why I said like me and my boyfriend live here, and we literally this whole place is a freaking pigsty because we're men. Like we clean up every now and again, but and obviously the kitchen's clean, the bathroom's clean, but like the living room's trashed, the bedroom's kind of trashed, and so is the freaking office.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I'm stuck with fake background. There
Yep. I got mine's hung up on the wall, so
you go.
you can see.
My wall's way back there behind me, so it's like, yeah. Mm.
Yeah, I got the background on. And it's funny because I got Kyle to put the push pins in because I don't want to do it because it hurts my thumb when I try to push it into a thick wall. So he ends up doing it. He's like, "Yeah, of course you make me do it." Like, so my fingers hurt. I'm like, "Of
Well, you're a
course."
little wussy, Scott.
I guess I am.
You get Brett Harris to do it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I have an authentic green screen somewhere over there that I was gonna put up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna buy this backdrop. It was only I think $25.
Well, let's talk about the book you did there, because
Absolutely.
you got yeah, you got a bunch of signatures on that.
Yeah.
Um, talk about the reaction these people had to your book.
Okay. So everybody was excited about it. Like they thought it was really cool that I wrote a book. And this isn't like my other books where they're self-published. This
Mm-hmm.
book, as you can see by the crest down there, is published by, I don't know if you can see it, but is by
Yep.
Bear Manor Media. Like that's the
Mm-hmm.
publishing company. And my literary agent, put me in touch with them, and got us a publication from them. The big one, the most exciting one, was James Jude Courtney. Here's why. I told him Jamie Lee Curtis wrote the foreword. He's like, no shit. I'm like, yeah. He's like, that's awesome. He's like, do you have time? I'm like, yeah, of course. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. He's like, cool. He's like, let me take a picture of this of the cover and of the foreword. And he took a picture of it. He showed me the picture on his phone, and it's in a text. And he said, look who it's sent to, and it said Jamie Lee, and or Jamie, or whatever he had in his phone. And she and then he said she usually doesn't take that long to respond unless she's busy doing something. So give me 5 minutes and see if she responds. Stay here. He said, let's take a picture a while, and then if you want, you can be the cameraman for these other fans to get a picture with me. I'm like, sure. So about 5-10 minutes later, I waited for about 10 minutes, I think it was, because I was just standing there taking pictures with him and the other guy, the fans, and that, while talking to him, which is really cool. And Jamie Lee responded. She goes, so that little fucker is still making, because this forward was originally the Ultimate Halloween trivia book, which was self-published. We used I just got her permission to reuse it for this book for a mass publication. And she goes, so that little fucker is still using my forward to gain money. Tell him congratulations.
Show the forward on here.
Course,
Show that. Yeah.
So I have a total of 3 forwards in here. Of course, I have the one from Jamie Lee, which is right here.
Look at that.
Yep. And I have and then of course we have an on-set picture in here given to us by Kim Gottlieb Walker.
I've had her on here, yeah.
It says Rick Rosenthal directs Jamie Lee Curtis and Donald Pleasance in Halloween 2, 1981. Jamie Lee Curtis shows off her bruise. Photo by Kim Gottlieb Walker. And this is was given to us by Kim Gottlieb. It was taken in 1981. That's why it's in black and white.
So
there's the picture. And then of course I had another foreword written by Anna Alicia from Halloween 2, 1981.
Have tried to get her on here, and management responded, and I've never been able to work anything out for some weird reason.
Oh wow. And then the other forward was, we wanted to do something outside of Michael Myers as well. Obviously you need to get the Queen Jamie Lee, and then we wanted to get somebody that was supporting cast with Michael Myers and somebody that wasn't with Michael Myers. So we got Stacey Nelkin from Halloween 3, who played Ellie Grimbridge.
Yeah, I haven't heard back from her yet.
Yeah, I forget how I got in touch with her. It might have been through email, and then of course got me word from the author. But yeah, and then I have and these are interviews that I have conducted on my podcast, but I reached out. Now I didn't hear back from everyone that I did interview, but the ones that I did interview, I reached out to them for a new interview, for an updated interview for the book itself. And then the ones that didn't respond, there was only a few that didn't respond, maybe 2 of them or so. I ended up just using the transcript from the interview with the podcast. But they said they weren't able to do another interview, but they give me permission to use it, which is cool. But like I have updated interviews, like right here's one with Jeffrey Landman, who played Billy in Halloween 5, and yeah, like I have interviews with Gary Clayton, who was in a deleted scene as young Michael Myers in Halloween Resurrection. It was his very first interview he's ever done about the movie, so that's really cool. Here's another one that's a rare interview that got published for the book. Dag Fairch, who played young Michael Myers in Rob Zombie's Halloween. He doesn't do many interviews, and he charges a lot. I did have to pay him for an interview. I got lucky with pricing, but I did have to pay him for an interview. Dee Wallace was one of them that said I can use the interview from the podcast, but she wasn't available to do another interview because she has a lot of a lot of stuff going on.
Oh right yeah.
Yeah, so I just put the one I did with her from the podcast, but most of the interviews, like I said, are authentically done. And I have Tom Proctor from Halloween 6. He played the motorist that got his neck snapped. I have Daniel Farrens, and he talks so in detail. This is an interview you do not want to miss out reading. I did an interview with him that he talks so bad about how he wrote a script that was so good, and they decided to not even use his script. He talks about how Daniel Harris, the exact reason, in word for word, exact reason on why she didn't come back for Halloween 6, and A lot of people know that reason, but he talks about how they trashed her, like literally trashed her when she was like going to do like when she was wanted to come back, like how they literally totally disrespected her. They just didn't give a shit about her. Like they treated her like she wasn't even part of the franchise, like she was just a random newcomer. Like she literally, they wanted somebody older so they didn't have to pay for schooling and that. She ended up getting emancipated from her family at 17 years old, paid all this money to do it, asked for a little bit more money so she could pay back the funds that she used out of her own pocket. And they said, you know what, we already hired somebody else. And then he talks about like the aftermath about how that affected her and everything. So he goes really into detail about that. He talks really in depth about Harvey Weinstein and working for the Weinsteins. That was a very controversial part of the interview that you definitely don't want to miss out on. And I'm going to let you know he does not support what he did. But he does talk about that. And then of course they had Alan Howarth, the musical composers of Halloween 2 through 6, and he talks about so many things about the score, about how he wrote for when he did the Halloween 6 score. He was told by the director to for one way to do it, but he was told by the Weinsteins to do it a totally different way, more rock heavy, and he had no direction on which way was the right way. Hence, why we got a producer cut and why we got a theatrical release to satisfy both with the music. So there was a lot of details that you don't really get from the Halloween from the cast, because they can only say so much like in the documentaries, because they're documentaries made to support the movies. But then you have people that, when they're doing something not associated with the franchise or with the company that owns the rights, they can say whatever they feel about it, with if that's really what happened. And that's what some of these interviews are. And then also another one I had is Ken Foray, who played Joe Grizzly in Halloween, and then of Rob Zombie's Halloween, and he was also in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think it was the second one, I want to say, or the third one, something like that. I forget off the top of my head. He was also in a bunch of Rob Zombie movies.
I know him best from Dawn of the Dead.
There you go, Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have Texas Chainsaw 3 he was in. And we talk about different things. We talk about, Texas Chainsaw, we talk about Devil's Rejects, Halloween, Dawn of the Dead. We talk about all that stuff. So yeah, it's got a lot of interviews. And then on top of that, there's thousands of trivia questions. Each chapter is on one of the movies, and it goes all the way up to Halloween Kills, because it was released before Halloween Ends came out, because we wanted to kind of ride that coattail of Halloween Ends is coming out. I need to get this book, and the best part about it, let me show you this. I love this this part, the last chapter, which is a bonus chapter. It's called Halloween Mashup. So for example, you have a word scramble. You have who am I? Like, for example, I'll just read one. I am the niece of a serial killer. I survived my first 2 ordeals with him, but later was killed after giving birth. I tried to protect my baby after foreseeing my death and hid him well. Who am I?
Oh, that must be George P. Wilbur.
There you go. And then I have fill in the blanks here. The final chapter is like a mix of everything. Fill in the blanks. I have hidden character, which is really cool because there's a bubble here, and whatever's in the bubble fills out who the character is that it's trying to spell. I don't know if you can see it. There you go.
Oh,
yeah. Then I have, of course, true and false. I have this or that. I love this or that. It's like Michael Myers killed his sister or his brother. Which one is it? One or the other. I like that. And then I have matching, where you match the letter on the line. And then I have who said it. So it's like a quote from the movie, and you put on the line who said it. This one's a big section, part 9. It's who played who, and I have every single character, pretty much every single character from the franchise, and you basically say who played who. And then I have multiple choice, of course, at the end. And then the best part of it is, these are the fun ones, a word search. And then, of course, I had to add this to it as well. Can't have a word search without a crossword puzzle. And then, of course, at the end, you have all of the answers. So you can see, obviously, if you're right or if you're wrong. And then, of course, you know Charles Rosenay, right?
Yep.
He
Yeah, I've
edited.
had him on here
That's
twice. I
right.
got his
Yeah, that's
book
right.
over there.
That's right. He edited the book, and of course, I have a social media lounge where I have my contact information, his contact information, of course.
Jeepers, you got him through me.
That's right. For totally.
What do you
Yep.
mean, do I
We,
know him?
we were supposed to come back on. He was supposed to come back on in the fall, but we just lost touch on base. So I want to reach out to him this year to have him back on.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I think he has another book out, right? I think
I
he has
believe so, yeah.
yeah. So I want to promote that for him.
Yeah. Now, of course, on your next book, you got all those forewords, but Brett Harris wants to write a backwards for you.
There you go.
He'll write a backwards.
There you go. We need to have a relic novel. I was working on a Samhain book, and I know Brett is probably wondering what happened to that Samhain book. And I'm gonna let you know, Brett, I'm signed by a literary agency, and they already have me working on another book similar to the Friday, Halloween one on Friday the 13th. So I'm working on another, that, and I can't just release self-publish any books now because I'm signed by an agency. So they like the contract I signed states that any books that gets published has to go through them, approved, and they set me up with a publishing company because they get royalties from whatever I sell. So and I really wanted to write that sound book. It was coming out really good too, and it's a lot different than the movie, I promise you that. Because we don't have financial obligations.
Well, I know one thing. Doing the cons was a lot of fun last year.
Yeah.
One funny story I had at Frightmare in the Falls, speaking of Rob Zombie,
Mm-hmm.
I met it's funny, meeting Bill Moseley in person
Yeah.
is so much different than seeing him on screen.
It
Because on
is.
screen in The Devil's Rejects, he's so intimidating. Meeting him in person, he's nowhere near that big. Um, it was
The amazing world of cinema where they can enhance camera angles to make you look huge.
oh my goodness, I met him and it was just like it was kind of funny, but um he was seated at his table was right next to Michael Berryman.
Nice.
And
Had Michael Berryman on the show. Amazing, amazing guy. Tommy
I'm
Kovac.
working on getting him. I'm
Nice.
working on getting him.
Nice. Tommy Kovac made a comment on the video with him. He's like, "Oh my god, you actually made him smile."
Well, you know what? Um the funny thing was with that, their table was right next to each other.
Mhm.
And I said to Bill Moseley, I said, "Is Sherry Moon Zombie as gorgeous in person as she appears on screen?" And he said, "That's a Michael Berryman question." So I turned to Michael Berryman and I said, I repeated the question and he said, "She's absolutely beautiful." And I said, "Is she prettier than Bill Moseley?" And he says, "Anybody's prettier than that guy." Bill Moseley's like standing there with his jaw dropped. And he's like,
Nice.
"I thought we were friends."
Nice. Nice. That's hilarious.
Oh, that was funny.
That is
Yeah.
freaking hilarious.
I had a lot of fun at Frightmare in the Falls. Um, yeah, I met all kinds of people there and spent way too much money, I tell you that.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Last convention I went to was Monster Mania in Hunt Valley last October, September to October, September 30th to October 2nd. And whew, I spent 150 for the VIP. I
Hmm.
spent about 300 on a hotel for the weekend, give or take. And I spent about $600 just meeting celebrities, not including vendors.
I must have spent about 2 grand meeting
Yeah,
celebrities.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you went to
Because at
two cons
Frightmare in the
too.
Falls, there was like somewhere, oh, they were supposed to have 24 guests. And wait a minute, how did that go? Not 24. It actually was closer to 30,
Right.
but we had a few that were no-shows
Yeah.
and for various reasons. But I did not meet everybody. I met more than I probably should,
Yeah.
but there was definitely people I was going to meet regardless.
Right.
I have a thing when I go to the cons now. I like to get Blu-ray sleeves signed,
Right.
and I like to usually get a picture autographed as well,
Yeah.
you know. But between Horrorama and Frightmare in the Falls, Horrorama I find a lot more affordable, but it's
Mhm.
also, excuse me, a smaller con.
Yeah.
But I
So the
mean, I
thing,
met Caroline Monroe. I
nice.
was, oh wow, Caroline. I had to meet her, and
Right.
I had her on in 2016.
Nice.
But maybe it's because it was my first con, but Horrorama has always been near and dear to me. And I
Right.
assisted Lisa Langwa at that again. And
Right.
yeah, that was a lot of fun. Caroline was consistently busy the whole
Mhm.
weekend.
Yeah.
Sunday was a little slower
Hmm.
because Horrorama's Saturday and Sunday, but Caroline was consistently busy.
Yeah.
And it was so cool to meet her.
Yeah.
Um, Tom Matthews was at both, so it was nice
Yeah.
to meet him. And of course, like I said, I worked with Lisa at her table. That was all fun.
Yeah.
Frightmare in the Falls, like I said, and I've got to discipline myself
Hmm.
to stop trying to meet everybody, you know.
Yeah.
And even with Frightmare in the Falls, I must have met a good 20 people, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Greg, slow down, you know.
Yeah. That's how I was at Monster Mania. It was like I wanted to meet like a lot of people, even people I couldn't meet, but it was like I can't do it. So like I met like some people I met were like Warrington Gillette and Roger L. Jackson and all that. And but like I wanted to and Quinn Lord, but I wanted to meet like Clint Howard and but he was at photo ops at the time in his ice cream man outfit. And I couldn't, so I was like, I don't know how long he's gonna be. I don't have time to wait for him, but I did talk to him in the hallway, which is really cool. Like I wanted to meet Daniel Roebuck, and Richard Brake, and who's the other one? Jeff Dan Phillips. Like I wanted to meet them, and they were all in Halloween. I would have loved them to sign my book, but monetarily, I couldn't do it. And I have and I know they were going to be back again eventually. I'll get them to sign my book at some point.
When I did Frightmare in the Falls, there was some people I definitely like meeting Marky Ramone
Mm-hmm.
from the Ramones was a plus,
Right.
and he signed a drumstick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's the last of the Ramones, and he signed
Yeah.
a rock and roll high school Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
And meeting him was a must.
Nice.
Meeting Harvey Stevens, who was Damien in The Omen, that
Right.
was a must. You
Yeah.
know,
I
uh,
met when I met Warrington Gillette. I had to like I wasn't planning on meeting him. I was getting and I it was a last minute photo op edition too because he wasn't supposed to be there. Paige was supposed to be there. WWE, diva, AEW superstar, whatever. She was supposed to be there, but she canceled at the last minute because she got signed with AEW and she couldn't do any commitments without their approval. And because she was just signed and it's so last minute, the approval wouldn't have gone through on time. So she had to back out, and they needed a last minute replacement, and they just got Warrington Gillette to do it, which was great. But I'm glad I got to meet him, and I got a great picture, selfie with him as well, and I got a good photo op. But I wasn't prepared because he wasn't supposed to be there, and I didn't know he was going to be there until I was already on my way there. They announced him like the morning of the convention, and I worked till 11, and I left at like 12 to go down there, and I didn't have anything. I would have gotten my box set signed because when I meet the Friday the 13th guest, I'm gonna get the Scream Factory, Shop Factory, or whatever. I'm gonna get that box signed, the actual outside of the box. I don't want the DVDs, but I want the actual box
oh,
signed.
Just a second. I'm gonna slide back here because I got my box set.
Yeah,
Just a minute.
no problem. Hmm.
There we are.
All right.
Because I got the box set, of course. I like
Can't.
how with these,
There you
I
go.
got the box set, but
Yeah, I want to get the whole thing signed. And the first Friday the 13th cast member I'm going to be meeting will be at Monster Mania in April. I'm going to be meeting Kane Hodder, and I would like to get him to sign that. And I hope they announce more Friday guests there as well. That would be cool.
I got Adrian King to sign the original. Says
Nice.
to Greg, see you back at camp. Adrian King, Alice. I'm gonna tell you, meeting her was great, and she does a similar thing that Felissa Rose does. She
Right.
does a picture of with her scared face
Hmm.
and a picture uh just smiling, and I had to hug her during the photo, because I
Yeah.
remember having a crush on her growing up.
Yeah.
So meeting
I want to
Adrian was,
interview her. She's not responding to me on Facebook, but she's not my friend anymore because when I was friends with her on Facebook. But then that was on my old Facebook, and that Facebook account got shut down a long time ago. And then I went to re-add her, but she's been maxed out with 5,000 friends ever since. So I never got to re-add her. And when you send a message to somebody you're not connected with, like on a friend, friends basis,
try her webpage.
I did, and she said she wasn't doing interviews at the time, so I'm gonna have to reach back out to her. I'll even donate to one of her charities just to have her on because I would love to interview her.
Yeah, she was my second guess. I got that one up on
Yeah,
Spotify.
I saw that. I saw you post that. These are the three photo ops I got. So this was with Tom Morga in costume as Friday Part 5 Jason.
Uh-huh.
I met
You
him
gotta hold
obviously,
that
but
up
I got
more.
him to, yeah, I got him to sign my Halloween book. So whenever he goes back to Monster Mania, I would like to get him to autograph my box set because I want everybody to actually do the box. I don't want them to do the DVDs individually. I want everybody's together on the
Oh, I
box.
love getting the DVDs or the Blu-ray signed. Here's part
Yeah,
two. My
nice,
part two one is well signed. I got Jason Morrington Gillette on the arm. I
nice,
got Lomri Taylor on the other arm. I got Amy Steele Ginny there.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now I was gonna get Harry Manfredini to sign this, but
right.
he had CDs of his music at his table.
From the Friday the 13th ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had a hard time figuring out what to buy because he had part one on a disc
Hmm.
on a CD, and he had parts two and three on a separate one, four and five on a separate one. Then he had six, and I forget how it went, but I
Nice.
got the
You know
part
what?
two and three one.
Nice. Do you know? I never saw this before. I thought this was unique, and I don't know if she does this a lot. But do you know what Nancy Loomis had? Was selling.
Hmm.
And I didn't buy one, but I thought it was very unique. Kind of like Kathleen Kinmont. She sells the Cops Do It by the Book nightgown. Well, Nancy Loomis sells literally a nightgown, and she before she I guess leaves or whatever, she gets butter and she puts butter on the nightgown like a butter, and that's a stain.
Wow.
I thought that was really clever. And then if you buy one, she'll autograph it for no extra charge. So I thought that was really clever.
Dick Wiend signed
Nice.
Friday the 13th,
Yeah, I
part
reached out to
five.
him on Facebook, but I remember you telling me he told you he doesn't
Yeah,
use
he told
Facebook.
me that, so I don't know how I'll get him. He was very polite. He was there with his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jason Lives. I got
It literally looks
CJ
like you're holding
Graham.
nothing up. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I know. CJ. Oh, gee. Big background. CJ Graham, Jason 6, 18 kills. Then we got Tom Matthews, Tommy, 1 kill. I joked with him when I had him on at Frightmare. I said, wouldn't that be Jennifer Cook's kill? He goes, yeah,
Technically,
but
is it any other kill? Because technically, I mean, yeah, I guess he's dead, but Jason comes back telekinetically, and he does open his eyes at the end.
yeah.
But yeah, Tom
And
Matthews, he did an interview with me a couple of years ago. I want to have him back on when I start getting my schedule fixed up. I reached out to him, he read it, but he never responded back.
who
So
was
he,
it?
Tom Matthews.
Oh yeah, I've had him
Yeah,
on
so
3 times.
I'm gonna reach back out to him when I'm able to schedule some more stuff. But he did an interview with me a couple years ago, and he actually did it, and he didn't want to break his commitment, and he did it sick with the flu. So the interview was really short because I didn't want to keep him really long because he was not feeling well, and I didn't, I should have just told him, let's reschedule. But I was new to podcasting at the time. He was one of my earlier interviews.
Kyle Glenclose, effects artist, signed Jason X.
Nice.
Yeah. I haven't had him on yet either, but I've met him twice.
Who was
I
it
got to get
again?
him. Kyle Glenclose. He also did.
Who did he play?
He didn't play anything. He's an effects artist.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you
He
said that.
did Cycle Gorman.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice,
So those are ones that I had gotten.
nice.
Wait a minute. Let me see. What do I have another one signed? Yes, I do. Yes, I. Wait a minute. Okay. I do have another one signed, I think. Or do I? Um, because I met the one of the other Jasons as well.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that was in Jason Takes Manhattan, the other
Okay.
Jason that ended up
Jason Takes Manhattan, you said?
oh yeah, Ken Kersley. I knew that.
Okay.
Freddy versus Jason. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I did have another. So I got a few things in
Nice.
here signed.
Yeah. Look at
Yeah.
this. I got here's me with Warrington Gillette in the part two unmasked.
You need to hold that up further because there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met Warrington.
Yeah, great guy. And then here's
Mm-hmm.
me with Quinn Lord.
I met him too.
Yep. Super
Yeah.
cool. I had him sign the book I wrote on my dad, because he was in Once Upon a Time, and he's also in Trick or Treat, of course. And I bought the Trick or Treat Blu-ray to get him to sign, but I'm like, you know what? He was in Once Upon a Time. I went to a Once Upon a Time convention. I got all the cast that I met there to sign that. I'm gonna get Quinn Lord to sign this Once Upon a Time, my dad's book with the other cast and crew, and he was very appreciative of that because he's like, you don't know. You said I'm proud of everything I've done, but everybody really knows me for is Trick or Treat. They don't really remember me for the other stuff I've done, especially Once Upon a Time. So the fact that you came to me to to talk about that and to sign it with everybody else that was there and everything, he said that was absolutely, he said, I really appreciate you changing it up for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I had a blast, and
Yeah.
so
They're fun. They are fun to go to.
they are fun, and I'm hoping to do both of them this year. Eventually, I'd like to move to Toronto. I don't
Yeah.
know when that's going to happen, but
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to work at one of the hospitals there,
Yeah.
and make a go at it. I don't know when that'll be,
Yeah.
but Lisa Langwa gave me the bug on that,
Mhm.
and I'm always going to be appreciative of her for that. But
Yeah.
but
Absolutely.
uh, but so far I've done 4 horror-ramas. I've done one Toronto Comic Con,
Nice.
and I've done 2 Frightmare in the Falls.
Nice.
Lisa may be at Frightmare in the Falls this year,
Nice. That'll be cool.
hopefully, because then I'll go with her to that.
Mm-hmm.
But I really need to discipline myself on the
Mm-hmm.
number of people. I mean, if and I plan to work with her at
Right.
Frightmare if she's there.
Mm-hmm.
And if I do, I'm probably not going to get around to meeting everybody,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? And that's not a negative. I love working with Lisa,
Yeah.
but it's kind of a good discipline for me because like I said, I met about 20 people at Frightmare, and it was hard financially.
Yeah.
Horrorama's a smaller con, so it's a lot easier to deal with. But
Yeah.
the prices at Frightmare were a lot more expensive.
Yeah, I know I don't my kind of goal of discipline with me with the cons is more of trying not to get any photo ops unless it's a must have. Like for example, if Kane Hodder's gonna do one in costume as Jason, you have to do it. If Daniel Harris is gonna be bloody with a pair of scissors and the clown mask, you gotta do it. But
You
I'm
know,
not gonna,
Danielle Harris was the most her and here's a funny thing. This speaking of which, Caroline Munro is a major um personality in the genre. She was in
Mhm.
the Hammer films, you know. She was
Yeah.
in the Christopher Lee uh Vampire Hammer films. She was a Maniac. She was in the Golden Voyage of Sinbad, The Spy Who Loved Me. She was a James Bond villainess, you know, Star Crash. She, like I said, like I was just over the moon that they got her, you know,
Right.
and she was everything you want to meet, you know. And anyway, her autograph for Horrorama was I can't remember the price, but I mean, yeah, it was $30,
Wow.
but you could get three for 75.
Okay.
And since she had so many great photos, I went with a three for 75,
Yeah.
you know. But that was a good deal, and she signed my Golden Voyage of Sinbad, she signed my Maniac, and she signed my oh yeah, Slaughter High
Okay.
Blu-ray. And I went back and saw her again the next day, you know, and she signed a freebie for me, you
Hmm.
know. But sh- but $30 for Caroline. I go to Frightmare in the Falls.
And Caroline was at Horrorama, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
I go to Frightmare in the Falls, and the cheapest price of anybody would have been $40.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of people that were there, I wouldn't say were at the height of a Caroline Munro. Caroline
Mm.
Munro is like legendary in
Yeah.
the business, you know? And like I could see maybe Marky Ramone because he was a Ramone. But I'm gonna tell you, the most expensive people at Frightmare in the Falls were Danielle Harris and Scout Taylor Compton. They
Wow.
were $80 a piece.
Wow.
I don't think Danielle Harris is up there with a Caroline Munro,
Right.
but I I can at least accept the argument. And she had the busiest lineup of everybody at Frightmare, which in a way kind of surprised me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like and I don't say surprised me in a negative way because I figured, you know, like with some of the other names that were there, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but I did meet Danielle Harris, and I was a bit trepidatious about it because I heard stories about her with male fans. But what I loved about Danielle Harris is she was very friendly, very personable, and I got to put my arm around her in the photo, which I didn't like. I was wondering if I was going to get to do that.
Mm-hmm.
She was very friendly
Nice. Nice.
because I mean, when I met Amy Steele, who who I thought was going to have the busiest line. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, she definitely was busy, but
Yeah.
Danielle Harris had a long wait line.
Yeah.
But Amy Steele was on one side of the table and I was on the other.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I got my picture taken with her, but it was kind of awkward, you know? I
Mm-hmm.
didn't question her about it. I thought maybe it's the pandemic. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, Scout Taylor Compton was also $80.
Yeah.
I got nothing against Scout Taylor Compton, but I was not a big fan of the Rob Zombie Halloween movies.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is she $80?
Yeah, like I'm not I would watch the Rob Zombie movies, but I mean, I won't go out of my way and be like, "Oh, I feel like watching Rob Zombie 2007." Like, no, I'll watch 1978, you know. But I mean, that's why like I didn't get Daniel Roebuck, Jeff Daniel Phillips and Richard Brake. Like they were known for more stuff. They were in Rob Zombie's Halloween movies, which is great, and I would have gotten them to send my book. But out of everybody else that I did meet, those are the ones that I wanted to meet. Whereas Rob Zombie's Halloween's, if they're back and nobody else is really worth meeting or whatever, I have extra money, maybe I will. But it was at the point like, no, like I mean, there's nothing against them, and they weren't even there for like Halloween or anything. It was a Halloween reunion that weekend, but they were there promoting the Munsters because that just came out at the time.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I didn't meet them, and I would have liked to. I saw them in person. I said hi to them, and we talked a little bit in the hallway, but I never gave them any money to meet and sign anything or pictures or anything like that. Now, maybe Scout Taylor Compton I might have. It depends on who else I'm meeting. Daniel Harris, I definitely would have met. She's a dream of mine to meet her and Kane Hodder. Thankfully, Kane Hodder's been announced for the one I'm going to, which is
With
cool. Oh,
Danielle Harris, I went to one of the vendors and I found Halloween 4 on Blu-ray, and I purchased that and I got her to sign it.
mhm.
I was never planning to get it on Blu-ray, you know. I got a very selective few from that franchise on Blu-ray. I got the first two, you know, and
Yeah.
but
When I
anyway, I got, huh?
when I sorry, I want to tell you, when I first got to Monster Mania, the hotel was like a mansion. Like I was really confused on where I was going, where I was at, or whatever. And so I was there earlier at noon to get the sign in and get my VIP wristband and all that. And I went back to the hotel to check in and do all that stuff there. And then I came back for when because they weren't opening until like 5 because on Friday they were open at 5 p.m. and then they were open earlier in the morning, Saturday and Sunday. So I got there around 4 and I'm like, I'm here. I'm like, this doesn't look like the same place I'm at for where I came this afternoon when I signed in, but I know I'm at the right hotel. And I'm like, I need to ask somebody. So I ended up saying, I'm gonna ask those guys up there standing on the sidewalk. I went up there and I'm like, hey, excuse me, do you know if where the Monster Mania convention is? My first time going here, and I'm kind of this doesn't look familiar. I'm like, I stopped talking. I'm like, holy shit, Doug Bradley. I didn't realize it was him from far away, and plus his back was towards me at the time. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm asking Doug Bradley, Pinhead himself, for directions. That was pretty cool.
There you go.
So he's like yeah. I'm like I didn't want to ask him for a picture because I know he's there to make money for pictures. I didn't think he would do it for free. I didn't know. I didn't want to ask. He was one of them I would like to have met. But I just didn't have enough money, that I brought with me for the people that I was on my yes I need to meet list. But I figured he is kind of a regular at the convention, so I figured I would meet him eventually. Eventually, I'll get there.
Yeah. So no, I had a lot of fun at these, and I love doing at least a couple a year, you know, and
Mhm.
I love doing them in Toronto, obviously, you know. I'm getting my passport done now as we speak, so I can eventually do them with Lisa and the States, you know.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
hopefully make that happen.
yeah,
But yeah. No, I have a lot of fun at these.
great.
Um, yeah. I know one thing we haven't been talking about here. We need to talk about 72.
Yeah, yeah.
What can you tell me about what's going on with 72?
So filming is done. We have two small things yet to film though. Just a reshoot of one of the death scenes, and which will won't be that hard to do. I mean, we'll be able to film that easily. And we just have a voiceover scene that we're gonna have one of our backers that donated that wasn't able to be on set because that was one of the perks they got. So since they weren't able to be on set, they said, don't worry about it. We don't need no refund or anything. I just won't be able to make it because I have personal issues come up or whatever. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But the one part that was given to somebody else as a voiceover scene is being very hard to get a hold of. So we decided to drop that person and just go with this person that we asked her if, hey, we can have you do a voiceover if you want. You can do it from the comfort of your own home. Just film it and send it to us. She's like, yeah, like, sure, why not? So those are the only two things we have to film yet. It's in post production. Me and Carl meet not every weekend. It depends on what weekend we're free, because he has a newborn that he just got born a couple of months ago, and I'm busy with school and work, and we both have full-time jobs, and I have 2 part-time jobs as well, and all that stuff. So we're editing when we can. We're looking for a summer 2023 release. But the way things are going, who knows? I mean, we're not gonna rush a movie to get made and then end up with another Samhain like that. We're not doing that this time. We're gonna take our time. If people have an issue that is going to be postponed, say another year or another couple months or whatever, then they're gonna have to deal with it, because that's the way it is. Like, we're not gonna rush something just for people to be satisfied that they can say it's done, and then it's gonna be a piece of shit. But yeah, it's coming out pretty good so far with editing. The movie's basically was inspired by COVID. Basically, a group of teenagers, not teenagers, a group of like friends. There's 7 of them, go to a campground is somebody's waiting there for them. He's the cousin of 2 of them campers. They're going to his campsite to kind of chill out, have a party, because right now for 72 hours, everybody's in a mandatory stay inside, don't go out, lockdown type of situation because of this virus, the Coric virus we call it. So they decide to go out in the woods where nobody's at, and party, and have a good time, quarantine together, because they made sure that they weren't around anybody to get any viruses and all this different stuff. So that's kind of what they did, and turns out that it's a great time, but then not so much. Somebody secretly in the group has no symptoms, but they are infected. And because they're infected, everybody else starts getting it, and people start dying, and people start going crazy, and all this stuff happens, and shit hits the fan. And then on the other side of town, you have a group of news reporters. You have a news reporter, a weather reporter, and a camera guy locked down in one of the news people's house, reporting the news and sending it to the station, kind of giving updates on martial law and civilization and all that stuff that's going on, the virus updates and all that stuff. And that's their storyline. And then you have another group of rebels, who we call the 3, who are a group of people that basically have been waiting for this type of thing to happen so they can start breaking laws without any repercussions, killings, looting, whatever. And eventually, at the end of the movie, the surviving members of all of the 3 groups, the campers, the news team, and the 3, the people that are left alive, their stories interact at the end of the movie. They all come together and form itself. So yeah, it's a pretty decent movie. It's got some pretty decent kills, some pretty good effects. I think it's really good. Brett's our lead guy. He's playing Rich Cork. He's our leading man. He's a very humble, nice guy. Basically, Brett being Brett. He's a great guy, and it's funny because with Brett, he wasn't going to be in the movie. He was just going to be stunt coordinator. We offered him a part, and he didn't want to do it just because he didn't think he was going to fit in with the campers. He didn't think his look would fit in with the age group of everybody else. So we had Michael Taylor, who's Noelle Berger's husband or fiance, and he was going to be Rich Corrick. But then they moved to Ohio, and he wasn't able to obligate come, whether it would be for filming or if we needed them for reshoots or anything like that. He didn't want to basically put us in a bind if we filmed everything, and then he couldn't get them for reshoots if we needed them. So we asked Brett to step in, and he's more than happy to do it. And he's thinking, it's a small part. It's literally 24 hours or whatever, not like a week, whatever it's been. It wasn't a long time, a couple days at most, at least. So he's like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll be able to step in, thinking it's like a minor role. And he's looking at it, he's like, holy shit. He's like, I'm on every freaking page for 10, 15 pages. So he like so much for a small part. I'm the leading role. So yeah, he had like a couple of days or so, maybe a week, I would say at the most, to kind of memorize all those pages. But Brett always said I kind of wrote notes on what I'm going to say and what I'm going to do, because when you're working with Gravestone Films, you have a script, you know what you're supposed to say, but usually you don't say what's on the script, because usually you go off script anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be exciting. We're looking, like I said, looking for a June 2023 release, not released to the public, just a release for a premiere. Um, we're not sure what we're going to do with distribution. We're not sure if we're going to go the self distribution route like Tubi and all that, film festivals. We're not sure exactly where we're going with that. Anybody that got their perks, some people got their perks already. They got like for example, they got like the weapons that we used on set that we don't need anymore. That we looked at the footage. The footage is good, so we can give them their stuff. Some of the props, like my hat. Like I wore a hat that is totally the opposite of me. It says, "I heart titties and beer," and beer has the E for beer has two like beer mugs with beer in it. So I wear that hat. And somebody bought that on Indiegogo, and we had another hat of an eyeball with wings, and somebody bought that hat and stuff like that. So we gave those to the people that donated. Everybody obviously got their special thanks in the end credits. The end credits are pretty much done. We just need to add the music and all that stuff to it, and we're just editing stuff up. But other perks like t-shirts and DVDs, all that stuff, we would like to get it out as soon as possible. We don't have anything ordered yet, but we're not planning on really ordering any of that yet. Our focus is getting the movie done. Like, they'll get their perks when they get them. They'll eventually get them, but we're not gonna go out of our way and get them right now when we're trying to get the movie done, and we have our full-time jobs and it's just two of us. But we'll eventually get them out to everybody. Definitely like the DVDs and digital downloads and scripts and anything that spoiler will be after the movies are already released on Tubi or wherever it's going to be going. They'll get all that, but like t-shirts, postcards, all that stuff, pictures, whatever it is, they'll get their stuff eventually. We didn't forget about you. It's just been so busy with Carl having a newborn and both of us having jobs, and all having a life and trying to edit the movie and everything like that. So we'll get there. But I'm excited for this movie to come out. It's gonna be great. Some amazing acting, some great scenes. So yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. And this is our first movie that we have sponsors from local areas in the area, so that's pretty cool too.
Well, Brett Harris does not do spoilers. He only does stale.
Yes, exactly.
Plus,
He
you got
won't
to get
drink
him.
spoiled
You
milk, but he'll eat the stale cereal.
now you also got to get him to do the backwards on your book too.
There you go.
Yeah,
Or we can call it. There's an actual name for the backwards. The afterwards.
sure.
There you go.
There we go. That makes sense.
Yep. Right.
Yeah. We'll
Yep.
talk about, of course, plug your other books you have. You got
Of
Christ
course.
Defeats Cancer,
Yeah.
about your dad.
Yep, I have Christ Defeats Cancer, a story about my dad. My dad has since passed in August 2021. I also have a sequel to that, Christ Defeats Cancer 2, The Battle Continues. And I do want to say something, like you could say, well, if your dad passed away, how did Christ defeat cancer? Oh, I could tell you how. He didn't die from cancer. He actually had a blood clot that went to his brain and caused a stroke. So he didn't die. So on his death certificate, it doesn't say he died from the cancer. It says he died from a whatever it's called, a hemorrhage or whatever they call it. That's what he died from. So yeah, so technically Christ defeated cancer. But I also have the Ultimate Friday the 13th trivia book, the Ultimate Halloween trivia book, parts 1 and 2. I recommend just getting the Ultimate Halloween Movie Experience, which is my book right here. Definitely get this. This is available on Amazon, on Barnes and Noble, Walmart, Target, all book websites you can get it on. So definitely get that instead. Reason why is because the Ultimate Halloween trivia book 1 has all the movies up to, I believe, just Rob Zombie 2, I think. The second edition has only up to, I believe, 2018, whereas this one has all the way up to Kills with additional questions, all the interviews that are conducted specifically for the book, additional questions, and added crossword puzzle, which isn't in any of the other books, and added word search, which isn't in any of the other books. The forward of Jamie Lee Curtis's, but there's 2 additional forwards in here as well. So like, there's so much more content in here than in the other 2 books. So it might cost you a little more, but you're still getting more. You're getting more content that are in the other ones. The other ones are outdated, so definitely get those. And then of course I'm on Cameo. So if you want to shout out, if you want a happy birthday or an anniversary, or say your boyfriend, you don't want to be with your boyfriend or your girlfriend anymore, but you're too afraid to tell them that it's over, just give me $5 on Cameo and I'll break up for them for you. And I'm even willing to humiliate myself. So Greg, donate $5 to Cameo and ask me to drink a bottle of hot sauce. No, but no, seriously though, like I'm willing to do anything on this. I'm only $5. I know there's people on there that are really outrageously priced. Like,
Judy Aarons is not willing to do anything.
I know, right?
Yeah, I think we
eh, eh,
established that.
yeah, there's people that are really outrageously priced. Like Caitlyn Jenner is like $2,500, and
Jeepers.
her average video span, like literally videos of all that she's done, is like 26 seconds for 2,500
Like that,
bucks.
that's highway robbery.
Yeah, like I'm $5. Like literally, like if anybody has a job, like I mean, if your minimum wage is like say 7.15 or 7.25 or whatever, you're making more than that in an hour. Like I'm not saying go. I'm just saying it's affordable. It's a lot better than freaking $2,500 or $50 or whatever.
And Laura Ellen Wilson's on there. Huh? I didn't know
She
that.
is. Yes, she just got confirmed on there. I'm so happy for her. So yeah, you check her out as well on
What's
Cameo.
her price on there?
I think 5 or 10 maybe, something like that in between there.
Okay. I didn't
Um,
know that. I had her on last year. She was great.
yep, I was supposed to have her today. Actually, I was supposed to be interviewing her right now, but she's not feeling too well, and we rescheduled for tomorrow. So that makes my 3rd interview tomorrow. So yeah, I mean, yeah, so I'm on Cameo. Of course, check YouTube out, youtube.com/slasher Scotty, or you can just type in slasher Scotty in the channel. I have all my interviews on there. I have something that I do called the Crystal Lake Coroner's Report. Each video is less than a minute long, maybe a minute long at most. Basically, I have a list of all the characters that die in Friday the 13th. Main characters, not like guard one or whatever from Jason X, but like I have like the main characters, and I do a report, a coroner's report, and it includes an autopsy, it includes the death scene from the movie, it includes a police report. It has music of police sirens, typewriters, like, and you can see them typing on there, and it says the cause of death. And I do a lot of research in each one of them, and they release on my YouTube channel every Friday at 9 a.m. And I'm going to be doing all of them for part 1 all the way to the 2009, and then of course eventually after that's all done, I'll be doing Halloween, a Haddonfield Coroner's Report. Eventually is what I'll be leading into. So definitely check that out. They're really fun, and they've been blowing up. Like, people actually really enjoy them. They're actually getting more views than my interviews are, to be honest with you. The one from last week, because the one aired last night. I don't know what that has view wise, but the one from last week, I think right now is at like almost 200 views, if I'm not mistaken. Like, it actually got a lot more views than a lot of my interviews. But I do interviews on there as well. Like I said, I have Laura Ellen Wilson scheduled, and Eileen Dietz as of now is scheduled, but she's been very busy, so we've been ping ponging back and forth with dates. But hopefully she'll be able to come on, because we're going to be talking about her new movie With Child, as well as The Exorcist.
Oh yeah, I've had her on a couple of times. She's
Yeah,
great. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And of course, you can go to my merchandisers page. It's virtualmerchbooths.com. You can get my signature Slasher Scotty shirt, if you can see it. Signature Slasher Scotty shirt. I have other designs on there as well. This is another one of the designs, if you can see here.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course I have other designs. I have one with like a skull with wearing headphones and all things like that. So you can check all that out. That's on virtualmerchbooth.com, my merchandiser. So if, like, say you have a problem with the order or whatever, you would have to go through them. They're my merchandiser. I have nothing to do with the fulfillments of the stuff. I just, worked with them, signed a contract, worked with them to get a price, and I sit back and they do all the fulfillment, and I collect a paycheck whenever I sell something. So just if anything I didn't have any issues with anything that I bought, and I had everybody else that bought something didn't have any issues. Everything went well. But if you do, just to let you know, go through them. They'll work with you. But overall, I have no problem with them, and their material is really good. This material is freaking amazing. Like, it's very comfortable, very soft, very good quality. I can wash it in a washer and it doesn't the color doesn't fade out. So definitely check it out as well. And Facebook, you can check out facebook.com/Scotty. I'm on /Scotty there. You can check out my author page, which is just Scotty McCoy. I think it's facebook.com/S McCoy author. Twitter, I'm on Twitter as /Scotty1 or S McCoy author. Instagram, I'm on as /Scotty and at S McCoy author as well. Like I said, on Facebook, I'm monetized now, so check out my monetization. If you like I'm uploading all my interviews as I can throughout the year, 5 interviews a day. There might be some days that I might not upload anything, depending on my schedule, but definitely check those out. And if you like them, give them a star. I mean, that'll help the channel continue to grow, and definitely give me a star. And I eventually plan on uploading like the Crystal Lake Corners reports up there eventually, and everything on YouTube I plan on taking over to Facebook as well, just to kind of grow the brand a little bit. But definitely check all that out. I'm on TikTok. I barely use it though, but you can check TikTok /Scotty. I believe I'm on there, and it's McCoy author. But yeah, and then that's pretty much it. Like I said, the ultimate Halloween movie experience. Check out, and of course, 72. Check out Gravestone Films, Gravestone Films Prod on Instagram, Gravestone Film without the S on Twitter, and Gravestone Films on Facebook. And I think that's everything.
2022 was a great year for horror films.
Oh yeah.
Did you see many last year?
I saw Halloween Ends. I saw Scream. I saw Scream 5. Sorry, I'm not doing that Scream bullshit. I saw Terrifier 2. What else? I know I didn't finish Chucky, the TV series. Me and Kyle watched it together, but we only saw like the first 2 or 3 episodes, and then we got really busy, and we didn't get a chance to finish it. So that's kind of on my to-do list. I want to see Chucky, the TV series. It's not a horror movie, but it's a horror show, so thought I'd mention it. What else? I saw some other stuff. I know that I saw Orphan First Kill. That was pretty good. 2023 is looking good. Because we have Scream 6 without Nev Campbell, with a returning Jenna Ortega and Courtney Cox. I know you want her to die. I like Courtney Cox. I don't want her to die. I'm a big Friends fan though. But I can't wait for that to come out. But not even just for horror movies
I want to see Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Oh, I can't wait for that as well. That's gonna be great. And then of course Scream 6. And I'm more excited for the most, and it's not horror, but I'm really freaking excited for it because I'm a freaking nerd, and I'm excited for Super Mario Bros., the actual CGI movie.
I know last year I saw a lot of really good horror movies. I loved Barbarian was great, and I had the Barbarian himself on the show.
Nice.
Yeah. I loved X.
Nice, yeah.
X was probably my favorite film of the year.
Yeah.
And I loved Pearl. I had Elliot Rocket, who was a cinematographer, on from that film, but for those films, and I had the wheelchair-bound dad on from Pearl, which was great.
I know what movie you're gonna see on February 10th. It's the remastered 3D version of, wait for it, Titanic. And guess what? Best part is it's not 3 hours. They actually added deleted scenes into the remaster to make it 3.5 hours long.
Fuck that.
I tried getting Kyle to go with me for Valentine's, for an early Valentine's Day treat. He's like, you know what? You had a better chance at me watching it on Netflix. And even then, you had a slim chance.
Black Phone I enjoyed.
Nice.
Yeah. Let me see, what else did I see that I really enjoyed?
I'm trying to think what else I saw too. I know there was a couple of others I saw and I can't think of it. Still haven't seen it. It's
Smile was the highest grossing horror film of the year.
nice.
Yeah.
What, what do you think about Crystal Lake for Peacock coming out?
You know what? I hope that they do it right. I hear people throwing this idea and this idea, and a lot of it I just wish people would shut up.
Hmm.
Like they're saying, well, they should update it to blah blah. No, no. I want to see if Jason drowns. I want to be 1957.
Of
You,
course. I
you
mean,
know,
why
the cat.
you're not going to have 1957 look like freaking 2023?
Well, you get people saying, well, maybe they'll update it to the 60s or something. If that's the case, I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to
No.
bother with it.
Why mess up history?
I'm getting tired of these assholes coming online go, well, like, what about this? Or what if Crazy Ralph was the dead? Like, fuck off. I get tired of hearing people just
What did they say
spout
about Crazy
gibberish.
Ralph?
If he was the father, like
Oh
stop
God.
it. Like stop it.
That would be a twist, but it's like, no, it's not. It's Elias Voorhees.
Hmm. But
Yeah,
I hope they do it justice.
yeah,
But I would like to see, I think like Jason, I think was born in 1946 and drowned in 1957.
yeah,
So I wouldn't mind seeing the background there and especially a lot of stuff with Pamela and Elias and
yeah.
but I also want to see the stuff that the truck driver discussed in part one, like
Hmm.
uh the bunch of fires and the
Yeah,
poison water and stuff like that,
yeah,
Um, what the history was with the Christies and this and that. But
yeah,
I also wouldn't mind if they dived into some of the little details that Vincent DeSante has brought up about the franchise, about plot holes. There's
yeah,
all kinds of stuff they could do, but
yeah,
I wouldn't I wish they get Vincent DeSante to helm this. I think he would done an incredible job.
yeah,
But if they do this whole thing, well, we're gonna update so Jason drowns in the 70s or Jason drowned okay, then have your TV
right.
show
How are
on.
you gonna see it? Because I know Peacock's not available in Canada.
Well, it wouldn't matter. I wouldn't fucking bother if they're gonna mess around with it like that. I hate it when they do that.
Yeah,
You know,
I
um,
agree.
yeah. I mean, if he drowns, I want it to be 1957,
I want it
and
to be
you
everything that
know,
was in the original film, date wise and otherwise. They need to show it.
you know. But
Yeah,
if they're going to friggin' mess around just because so that today's society or today's audience could relate to it, you know what?
that's why it's called going on whatever streaming service is playing Friday the 13th Part 1 and going to that service, even if you have to get a free subscription or pay, go there and watch it, bootleg it,
I
whatever
I
you got to
just
do.
I just I'm hoping because I think Victor Miller I think is involved with this.
He's the head writer.
Yeah. So I want to see it done justice.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
but
I
if it's
agree.
but if they update it just to please this or please that, then I'm like, eh,
No
I'll
reason,
check out.
right? And there's no reason to please anybody. Like the movie's out, so like the original movie's out, so it's been out all these decades. So just freaking find it and watch it and get caught up before you watch the series. It's a prequel. I mean, it's supposed to be exact dates and exact plot, things that happened that was stated in the movie. The fires, the contaminated water, like all these things happened. You need to tell us about it.
One of the things is too that I'm hoping Tom McLaughlin gets to make his movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm hoping
yeah,
so. Yeah,
that would be nice.
yeah. So I don't know. I hope they do it right.
Yeah.
But like I said, I used to listen to a few podcasts where people talk about it and what they expect, but when they start diving into, well, maybe they'll update it to this or update, you know what? I'm checking out if that's the
Yeah.
case,
Yeah.
you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't care about that. I don't
Mhm.
yeah, because it's not what the franchise is to me, so
Right. And you can add in like, additional details that may have not been mentioned in the movie. But when you start changing dates of when he drowned and when, this all when he was born and all this different stuff, that's when, it's like, okay, well now it's not a prequel. You're making an entire different series because this isn't what happened in the movie you're a prequel to.
hmm
Like it
yeah,
wouldn't make sense.
exactly. Well, anything else you want to plug on here?
Oh, that I got everything covered. I'm proud. I think well, how long has this been going on for? About 2 hours, ish,
I don't know.
something
Who
like
knows? Who
that.
knows?
Yep,
But yes, 7 times you've been on here.
yep. And 2024 will make it 8.
There you go.
There you go.
And you gotta get Brett Harris to write your afterwards.
There you go. Brett, if you write my afterword, I'll give you a free pair of the underneath, the underneath and the in between, the boxers.
And
It's
able
hard.
a box of
And Brett, I
stale
know where you live,
cereal.
so I'll just put them right on your porch if you don't accept them. There
There you go. There you
we
go.
go.
Well, Scotty, it's always great having you on here,
Yeah, thank you for
and
having me on.
oh yeah, it's always fun.
Of course.
And yeah, we'll be in touch
Yeah.
and yeah. I'm still a little dreary because I worked last night, wasn't planning on it, but I'm
Yeah.
glad we were able to do this a little earlier and
Yeah, I'm glad too, and it saved me time because I have to pick Kyle up at 3. He's done at 3:30, and then we'll get home by 4ish, and that's when I was supposed to have the interview, which is why I said I was going to be 5 minutes late. And then we have to go to Walmart. I have $100 gift card I got for Christmas that I want to stock up on food and get some, essentials stuff and everything, and figured I want to do all that while I'm out. So now that we did this earlier, I can just probably go right to Walmart from here, from
well,
picking
yeah,
it up.
you can get a box of stale cereal for
There
Brett
we go.
Harris.
I'll check all the Best Buy dates and make sure it wasn't that it's past the Best Buy date. Brett,
Yeah,
I got it for you. We'll make some relicos.
yeah, and you can wrap them in Scotty boxers.
There you go. Honey nut relicos. Yep. And you know what?
Oh,
And as they say, they're great.
or
That's not
they're
Cheerios, but
gross.
they're gross. There you go. We got our slogan, Brett. Let's make the cereal. We'll sell stale cereal, and they're gross. There we go. We got it. We got our little side adventure.
There you go. And you can get Tyler Ebert and Amanda Sawyer to be the guinea pigs to test it.
Definitely.
There you go. There you go.
Sounds good.
Well, Scotty, stay in touch and
Absolutely. You too.
looking forward to doing this again sometime.
Absolutely. You have a great rest of your day, buddy.
All right, take care, man.
Yep. Bye.
Yeah, God bless.
Yep.